Hello. I've tried to record this twice. I don't know. Well, this is going to be my third time. I don't know which one I'm going to choose, but we shall see. Um, this week has been very interesting, to say the least. It was my expected due date on the 28th, and I already knew this month was going to be hard. There was no denying it. It was anniversary of my uncle slash godfather passing away on the 11th of this month, and then the 28th was my due date. So I already knew going into this month that I was going to feel a lot, and feel a lot I did. So on the 28th, I stayed in bed and I cried. I cried and I allowed myself to cry, and I watched Bob Burgers and I allowed myself to laugh. I went outside, got some fresh air, went to the deli by me. I tried my best to give myself everything that I needed on that day. And it was definitely hard. It is still very hard. But, we're working through it. And it's so crazy because the support group that I go to, it happens every Wednesday. And I remember thinking to myself, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to have to be... I say this phrase, like, I don't have to be on. Like, I don't want to have to be in a space where I, like, have to contribute, basically. But I sat down with myself, I would say, like, 30 minutes before the meeting. And I just kind of reminded myself very lovingly, because I'm trying to do that with more love and not like, oh, you have to. But I reminded myself lovingly that I did make a promise to myself and to my kids to not only go after the things that I am passionate about, but also to get help and to be in spaces to receive help when I need it. And then just realizing that I didn't have to be on, I don't have to be at 100% or 70%. I can just be there. I don't have to talk, but showing up for myself in that way is something that I did promise myself. And no, I don't want to say that, but like, I know showing up in that support group, I didn't have to be on. And because of the promise I made to myself, I was like, okay, we're going to go to the support group. We don't have to talk if we don't want to talk, and we can just listen. And I'm kind of grateful. I am grateful that I went, because the topic that we ended up talking about was something I wrote about, like, I need to burp. Excuse me. It's something that I wrote about like a week and a half ago, which is so crazy. But what we talked about was the ways in which we have changed since our abortion. And I can just read like the prompt that they gave us, but it was, who was I before my abortion and who am I getting to know? And it's crazy, as I said, because I wrote this little excerpt down, or like this thought that I had while I was on the train. We are mosaic pieces. But right now, the pieces I've been working on for the past 27 years no longer resonate with, I no longer resonate with or recognize. I feel as though the pieces of my being are being rearranged and reimagined, and it feels impossible to find myself again. Feels like a heavy mission to accomplish. Would I ever accomplish it? I don't have a clue of what I'm doing, where I'm going, and it feels like a big what the fuck. I pray for guidance, protection, and direction as I try to maneuver through this life and through this process. What is for me isn't going to pass me, and divine timing is always working for me and with me. And I don't know if it's like a Japanese tradition. I really could be just making this up. But there's like this thing where if a vase breaks, they put like gold in the crevices. And I resonate so heavy with that imagery in this point in my life because it feels as though I am that vase and I'm seeing all the broken pieces of myself on the floor, and like I'm trying to gather them, and I'm also trying to create the vase again, but some of the pieces they don't fit. Some of the pieces I no longer want. Some of the pieces I'm trying to figure out if I should reshape them and keep them. And as I'm like going through this very big transformation, oftentimes I feel as though I can't even recognize myself. I mean, which is kind of a given because my vase is shattered. But within this process, I still don't feel like I know myself. I still don't feel like I know these pieces on the floor that I'm looking at. And at times it has been very, very overwhelming, and very daunting and very scary to know that the person who I once was, I no longer resonate with or connect with. Because when I look in my eyes in the mirror every time I wake up, I see a person who knows grief intimately, a person who knows pain very intimately. And I mean, just like anything in life, I just never thought I'd be in this position, be in this position where I know grief like this and I know pain like this. And that's been hard. It's been really hard. And it's also been hard to like, in that same vein, to look at old pictures of myself. Because when I see old pictures of myself, I see a version of myself with a lot of spark in my eyes. A vision of myself that I guess didn't know pain like this. And I don't know, there was like more pep to my step. And it's been jarring in some moments to like see myself in that point in time and know how like I don't even know what to say, to be honest with you. But it felt as though even when the odds were stacked against me, I still had this vigor in me. And now it feels like I can't withstand a lot. And I don't know if that's like good or bad, to be honest with you. Because on one point, or like on one hand, I know my capacity well. I know what I can carry. Well, in this version of myself, I know what I can carry, and I know when I have to say no. And I'm also allowing myself to say no and let my no's be no's and not maybes. So I guess in that regard, there has also been good as well that has come out of this. I talk to like whoever listens, to be very honest, or whoever I feel comfortable sharing this with. I often say like the moment that I had my first abortion, it felt as though my core was shaken. And I feel as though because I was shaken in such high intensity that now I'm fully awake. I don't know if that like makes sense, but I feel as though beforehand I was living in autopilot. I was like doing the things that I needed to do, but there was a level of me that was very much asleep. And then after having my first abortion, it was just like a veil was lifted off of my eyes, and I just realized how much I needed to do and how many soft boundaries I had, and realizing now that I have to have firmer boundaries, and what does it mean to be in partnership and tolerating disrespect, and just all these things that I never thought about because I was never in a relationship to begin with. Like beforehand, this is like my first one. So just like being in this and having this lesson be this lesson and bringing up these things, it has just been very interesting to me. But yeah, be good. I have been letting my nose be my nose, as I said, setting firmer boundaries, and then also leaving when I know it's time for me to leave and not sticking around. I was in this very toxic loop with this individual, where we would break up, I guess, and then end up right back with each other. And that was happening for a while. And recently, I finally let my no be my no. And that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, I've just been learning that when it's time for me to leave, I have to leave. I can't have one foot in the door and one foot outside. Like, I have to completely shut the door, lock it, put a bolt, run away. Like, I can't just, half-ass. I can't just half-ass it. Because then the price that I pay is going to be more expensive. So yeah, I've been learning to leave people who don't serve me, leave spaces that don't serve me. And it's so crazy, like as I'm thinking about this and as I'm like talking, I'm thinking about this art piece that my friend Maya did, that's called Stop Fucking Your Demons. And I will have to relate because it feels like that. It feels like stop fucking your demons, stop fucking things that is hurting you. And like, what price are we paying for pleasure in these toxic cycles? So I'm proud of myself for moving on, or for putting one foot in front of the other and moving on. So yeah, it's been a lot of standing firm in myself after my abortions, and it's been a lot of going after what I want, because it is something that I promised myself and it is something that I promised my kids. So I applied today actually. Shout out to my friend Ma for sending me it. But I applied for like my first exhibition to showcase 3 of my photos that I took out in the past couple of years. So fingers crossed that I am able to do that. Me recording this right now is something that I promised myself and my kids that I would do, because it falls under something that I love. And yeah, I've just been doing small, tangible steps that I can take for myself to move towards the things that I love. So yeah, it's been very interesting to see this new version of myself and to get to know her, even though I'm sitting in grief as I get to know her. So sometimes my vision feels very skewed. But the process has been, I guess, kind of sweet. Hard but sweet. Yeah. It's definitely a process. It has definitely been a process. Yeah. I'm gonna get ready to head to a volunteering. Oh, that's another thing I've been trying to do as well. I've been wanting to provide spaces for individuals who have had an abortion to come together and share our experiences. And that can look like us talking, us painting, any ways in which we can get it out creatively. And in order to get to that step of mine, I've been trying to immerse myself in spaces where I can learn more about other people's experiences, because all I have in this is my experience, and I know my experience is true, but I want to understand from different walks of life as well. So I've been reading a lot about people's experiences after abortions, before choosing to have an abortion, and I am volunteering at this clinic. Today's my first meeting with them, so I'm very excited about that. I'm just very excited to see what I learn and what I'm able to do as the months progress. And that just makes me so happy. I'm not gonna lie to you, because like I have it's a makeshift vision board because I didn't have pictures, but I have like a list of things that I want to accomplish this year, and just to see that I am, I don't want to cry, but fuck. Yeah, just to see that I am doing the things that I promised myself and my kids that I would do. I don't know, it just makes me so happy. It makes me very, very happy. So yeah, peace.